obviously you spent a lot of time on the print side. So what are you enjoying about sort of the broadcast side at the moment that's so different, how it works, how it's put together?
Well, I mean, I've done sort of. I mean, I've had a very weird career, and I've not really done that much of anything for that long. But I mean, radio, I've done. So I presented an LBC show for 3 years, which was a weekend show, which was a phone-in show, and at the weekend you are left on your own. It's you and a producer, and you've got 3 hours to fill, and you better make it work, otherwise you'll be horribly embarrassed. And then after that, I did 3 and a bit years on Front Row, which is Radio 4's flagship arts program, which is a beautifully produced, really magnificent 28-minute program. And on that show, you can talk for 28 minutes. If you talk for 28 minutes and 5 seconds, it will be a disaster. It's very, very tightly produced, which has a massive advantages because it's a very, very lovely thing. So I come to this with a certain amount of different radio experience, something very informal and very based on just giving it a go versus something very formal. And in terms of newspapers that I've worked with, and I should say to James, it's just broke my heart by saying it was the LRB I was editor of. It's the TLS, not our horrible rivals at the LRB.
Sorry. A 6 a.m. start.
Yeah, don't worry. But so I've worked in different. The main thing about radio is it's immediate in a way that websites and as print goes towards websites, you get a bit of that, but it's not, even then it's not as immediate as radio. And what I want to foster in the station is if someone has a good idea, it can be on air 5 minutes later or an hour later or later in the day. And actually, we're not over-resourced. You know, some of this chat begins with all the Murdoch millions you hear about. We don't pay better than the BBC, really. The BBC is so super resourced. It pays people an extraordinary amount of money. We are not coming into this as a sort of a big beast who can splash cash that nobody else has. We're doing this where we're going to rely on ingenuity and cleverness and ideas, because we don't have huge teams. We don't have tightly produced 25 minutes documentaries. We have people and ideas. And so the joy of radio, which we have to embrace, so we've got to make a virtue of that necessity and say, we've got to think of the best way of doing something. And if we have a cool idea, we better get it going. And if you talk to Chris Evans, who is on one of our sister stations, Virgin, and I've talked to him quite a lot, he's a big supporter of Times Radio. He's had every presenter of Times Radio on over the last 2 weeks. He's having me on again on Friday because he's so supportive. Because he just loves the idea of new radio, Chris Evans. But he would say when he was at the BBC, if he had an idea, it would get workshopped to death. But on Virgin, if he has an idea, he'll just do it. And I think we just have to try and establish that as a principle for us. Like, have an idea, make it work, and hopefully you'll get great radio, because that's all we have to think about.